Hello,
Hello, teacher Mark.
how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
What time is it for you now?
Um, 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Oh dear. On a Friday.
Yeah, on Friday.
Wow. It's 11 a.m. in the morning here
Wow,
on
on
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So almost a whole day difference.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, so last time we talked was only for a short time, yeah? Like 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes.
Yeah. What is the average for your calls when you talk with a student?
What's that? Say that again for me.
Yeah, I mean, what is the average on time when you talk with your students?
30 minutes usually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some 15 minutes. They prefer like short time.
Okay.
Mostly 30. Some, like I've got one or two that like to do 1 hour, which
Okay.
is quite a long time, but they like talking a lot. So
Yeah. Before, I remember maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I'm not sure, but Cambly uh, had how do you say that, plans with 1
okay,
hour, but now only is 30 minutes, 50 minutes, and 10 minutes.
yeah, yeah. I had one or two like 45 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but usually the ones for 1 hour, they usually
Yeah.
have like like a lesson plan for part of the class, not just because it's difficult to have a conversation just for.
I said 15 minutes, no, 15 minutes, 15 minutes and 30 minutes.
Yeah, but yeah. So when it's 1 hour, usually usually they're higher level, and they're usually business English is what they
Okay,
wanted. So they will have like a lesson plan, like a business English lesson plan, and they will usually say to me they want to go through it very slowly, not don't just rush through it. Just go through very slowly everything, and can have discussion after each point. So yeah, so usually these are business people who need a specific um, like a specific lesson for their business, such as making presentations or business meetings, this kind of thing.
hmm. But did you have calls with 1 hour?
Yeah, I've had one boy, like a 10-year-old boy from South Korea, who
Okay.
called me for 1 hour. And
Wow,
when the time came up, I thought, wow,
it's
this
a
is
long
going to be
time, right?
a long hour for me, because with a boy, like a young boy, you think, what can you talk about for 1 hour? But
Exactly.
but but actually, because his English was so good,
Okay.
it was fine. Yeah, he's a really good kid, and his English level is very high for his age. Very high, like almost native speaker level.
Okay. Always with a topic, any topic.
So he could. I mean, he was telling me all about his school and his life, and all the different things he does at school. Like they were having like the debating team he was on, and how I was asked to help him with his debate he had later in the day. Like very high level. It was actually incredible the level he was for such a young boy. He couldn't have been more than 10, 11 years old.
And
And
how is the accent for people from Korea, for example, or for Japan?
that boy in particular, he had a very American accent when he spoke.
Okay, okay.
So I think he'd been practice. He goes to what they call international schools. Like in these countries like China and Korea, they have international schools where the first language they use is English in the classroom. They don't even use their native language. They will use the English as the first language. So in his class, he will have American students, like from families who are living in Korea, and like maybe Russian students, so different nationalities in the same class. And that's
Yeah.
why their English is so good, because they're exposed to it like more than their own language in these kind of schools.
Yeah, in Japan and Korea, learning language is very important since they were a child.
Yeah, I mean China especially now, because I worked in China for 5 years,
Right.
and the parents are very competitive about, they want their kid to be the best one in the class at English. So it's almost like a status thing to say, oh yeah, my kid's better than your kid at English.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want. I
When
would
you
like ask you ask. Uh-huh.
when you messaged me before, you said you wanted to use the video
Mm-hmm.
from the previous class. So
Yeah, I
can you tell me
remember.
about that? Can you give me a little bit of
Okay,
background
yeah.
information about?
Usually I watch this kind of videos, my calls with different tutors when I'm working. So I'm working and I'm listening. Uh, I can watch the videos when I'm working, but I can't hear. I can
Oh, okay.
listen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And usually, how you say that? Beside this, I want to help another people because, like me, too many people they are looking videos like this kind of videos, so they can practice. They're listening, and it's different because, for example, you're learning maybe with an app application like Duolingo, and you are learning maybe vocabulary, grammar, but it's different when you need to use the language in a real conversation. So,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of other applications, they have group classes, don't they, with maybe 4 other students in the class.
mhm.
Where like on here, it's always like one on one, so you get a lot more talking time.
Yeah, so
Whereas,
that's why I asked for
yeah,
that.
whereas some of these, I know because I've looked at other companies before I started working for Cambly, and I looked at some videos on YouTube about YouTube's an amazing thing, isn't it? You can find everything you want on there. And yeah, so I looked at some other companies, like one called Lingoda, and they
Lingo,
were saying,
okay.
I always say like what we call the pros and cons, because every job has positives and negative things.
Okay.
And they were saying on the negative side of Lingoda was 2 things. One was not a problem having like 4 or 5 students in the class, but maybe like 3 of the 5 would turn the camera off. It's very difficult for the teacher if you've got 2 with a camera on and 3 with the camera turned off. How can you, try and get everyone involved in the class when you can't even see the person on the other side? And then you don't know when they want to speak. And of course, it happens where you'll get one that really wants to talk all the time, and the others don't get the opportunity. And these are some negatives that teachers said about Lingoda, which I thought about before I, made a decision
Lingoda,
myself.
how is Lingoda? It's like Cambly? It's like the same or it's different?
No,
Different.
it's like you'll have a specific lesson plan every time. Every class will
Okay,
have
okay.
like
Like a
a
school.
yeah, they have a lesson. Like, I mean, you can do on here, and I don't know if you've used any on here before. Any of the lesson plans. I mean,
Yeah.
you can do it on this platform as well if you want.
And what do you think about Cambly? Cambly, is it for beginner?
Cambly's no, I mean, complete beginner would struggle on here. I've had, usually we have like these trial classes, and some students, when they come on, they only have like 5 minutes or 10-minute trial class. And generally, some of them, they can't even speak, like, very basic things like what's your name. They can't answer
So
very
Cambly
simple
is
questions.
not for beginners.
No, not for complete beginners. I mean, there's a certain amount we can do. Like, I'll give you an example of a beginner lesson.
Do you remember our last class? No,
Not.
actually no.
Can you imagine how many people I've spoken to since then?
Okay, no.
So I'll show you this quickly. This one. So this is like an introduction
Mm-hmm.
class, but they need to be at least good enough to answer these kind of questions.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
it's basic, but it's not complete beginner.
Exactly.
So it's just different, like basic questions and answers. Where are you from? Where do you live? So that's the lowest level we could deal with on Cambly. You couldn't have like a complete beginner level, because obviously usually complete beginner level is you need to have a native speaker of that country. Like if it's a Chinese student, you need a Chinese assistant to translate sometimes. So I think you need at least to speak a little bit of the other language to have a complete beginner level students.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, and what do you think about Cambly? It's better than Lingoda?
Well, I haven't worked on Lingoda.
Okay.
All I've done is I just looked at different other companies on their YouTube videos and thought which one would be the best one for me. Generally, you see, they
Okay.
generally they have most online companies focus on children more than adults.
Okay, actually, I love Cambly. I love Cambly because I think my English is better than I started. I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's good,
Mhm.
and that comes from practicing conversation, and sometimes, you know, telling the teacher to correct mistakes,
Yeah,
which is very
sometimes.
important. Not
Yeah.
all the time. I think it's wrong for a teacher to keep stopping and correcting everything, but some important things, I think it's important to stop and
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes I think a lot when I need to give an answer, but usually I understand when you are talking. I understand
yeah,
almost all your words. So that's
yeah,
why I can answer one question or I can give a feedback. Is correct? Is
yeah.
correct?
So this is what helps from you saying you listen to the classes when you're working sometimes, because you have to get, especially on something like this, you have to get used to different accents, like English accents, American accents, and
Yeah, I like YouTube because YouTube they have what they has.
they have, they have, yeah,
They have a tool uh, where you can translate or you can see the subtitles,
oh,
auto
okay, oh,
generated the
on you
subtitles
on YouTube you can, yeah,
on YouTube. Yeah,
really, I didn't know that.
yeah. So you can
Oh,
see you can see subtitles in Spanish or in any other language,
oh,
but
okay,
usually when I'm not going, for example, I'm not working, I have free time. I can watch the videos and I can on or turn on the subtitles, and I can see my mistakes, and I can
yeah,
see.
that's good, yeah,
Yeah, sometimes when we are talking, I don't understand all the words. Oh, yeah, I understand almost all the words, but not all.
mm.
Yeah. So when I am watching the video, I see with subtitles the word that I don't understood.
Yeah, the one you didn't, yeah, you couldn't understand. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's interesting. I actually didn't know you could do that on YouTube. Obviously, you can do it on movies, can't you, with different language subtitles when you watch a movie or some TV shows. Like Netflix do subtitles, don't they, on their
Yeah,
TV shows? Because
I
I know watching movies can be very difficult if it's, because they speak so quickly sometimes and in very, like, what we call very broad accents. And even like if I watch an American film, even sometimes I don't understand everything they say.
okay. What do you recommend? See a movie or watch a movie or listen a podcast, for example.
Do you know what? I would probably watch a TV series with the
Okay.
same characters, so you get to know their accents, and then you can focus more on it. Where a one-off movie, is not very useful, I don't think, unless the characters in the movie are very well spoken. But
The
if they're using a lot of what we call like
the language they use
like
in
this,
in
they use a lot of slang. It's not
okay
very useful sometimes.
okay yeah yeah the language they use in that kind of shows, is it usual or is not usual?
Well, like I say, they use a lot of, depending on where the movie or TV show is from. So if it's from London, like in England, they'll use a lot of different words than if it was from the north of England or the
Mm-hmm.
west of England, because there's so many different dialects in English. Like even in a small country like England, we have something like 42 different dialects.
And do you know another language besides your native language?
No, only I know a little bit of German, a
German, okay.
little bit of Thai, very small amount of Chinese.
Chinese, wow. I think Chinese is very hard. I think, well, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I lived there for 5 years, and I can only speak very few words. Yeah.
Wow.
But
And
actually, I didn't really try that hard. So I have to be honest. I didn't really try because I didn't want to stay there forever anyway. So
and how did you communicate with the people when you were living there?
you get used to pointing at things and
Okay.
use your body language a lot. Yeah, it's actually amazing what you can do without speaking a language, using expressions and like emotions, things like this.
Time,
Yeah, exactly. You can get by. I mean, things like beer is usually the same in most languages,
okay.
but not
And
in Spanish. Spanish has got the most obscure word for beer out of every language, I think, a cerveza. Because
okay.
most languages, beer sounds almost the same, like
Mhm.
English, German, those kind of most European languages, and most countries, even Asian countries, understand beer, but Spanish has got completely different pronunciation for that word.
How many countries they speak English?
Well, native speaking is about 6 countries, isn't it? Um, like UK, New Zealand, Australia, America, Canada, Ireland, and some consider South Africa as a native speaker, but actually
Mhm.
it's not the native language of South Africa.
Do you know another country besides the US they speak English?
Well, countries not be their first language, but a country like Singapore and the
But
Philippines.
in America, in
What do you
America,
mean?
the America.
Oh, just the USA and Canada.
No,
think.
yeah, Canada as well, but
Yeah.
this is another country in America, in
Uh,
South America or
in South Central
Central America.
America.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Panama maybe.
Maybe I don't know actually,
I
but
think most speak Spanish in Central America, but places like Costa Rica, Panama, they do speak English, but
I have
not as a first language. I think more as a
no, it's not
second
the first
language.
language.
Yeah,
Spanish is the first language, I think, but the country is Belize.
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 Really, it's first
Mhm.
language. Really, I didn't know that. So
The
I learned something new today.
it was the UK, or how you say, England town, something like that.
So it was an English
Colonia Britannic colony,
colony. Yeah,
British
yeah.
colony
Oh,
in the
okay.
past.
Yeah.
So that's why they speak.
Oh, because I know because in the south there's a group of islands called the Falkland Islands near the coast of Argentina, and they're English speaking.
Really?
Yeah,
I
the
didn't
Falkland
know.
Islands. Yeah, it's a group of islands. Right.
Okay.
So this is a group of islands in the just off the coast of Argentina, and they speak English there. It's still an English colony there.
In Spanish is las Islas Malvinas. Yeah, it's territorio británico de ultramar.
Yeah, we had
Wow,
a
I didn't know.
yeah, because we had a war with Argentina in the
But is it a
1980s.
country?
Yeah, it's a country, yeah, Falkland Islands.
Wow. Is two Iceland.
But it's just it's almost like not many people live there. It's very low population there. I don't know exactly how many, but
Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
we actually had a war against Argentina in the early 1980s because Argentina wanted to claim like the Falkland Islands as their own, and the English government said no, and Argentina went to try and take over, and we went over there and sent them sent them back to Argentina.
Do you like the soccer, football?
Oh yeah, big football fan.
Okay. Do you have a favorite team?
Arsenal,
Could you repeat?
Arsenal,
Arsenal. Could you type, please? Ah, Arsenal. Okay,
Arsenal.
Arsenal. Yeah,
What's
in
your team?
in Mexico, Arsenal. Could you repeat the pronunciation, please?
Arsenal. Arsenal.
Arsenal. Okay.
Do you
And do
know
you
what
have
Arsenal
a
mean? Do you know what Arsenal means?
no?
Oh, it's a lot of
Like
guns. It's a lot of guns
okay,
together.
yeah. I know what you
And
mean.
the team came from a factory many years ago. They were
Okay.
formed from a gun factory where they used to make guns, and that's where the team came from.
Wow. And do you have a favorite player from Arsenal?
Of all time, oh my, too difficult. I would say because of different positions on the pitch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, your favourite defender would be Tony Adams. Favourite midfield player would be Patrick Vieira, and favourite strikers, I say two, Bergkamp and Thierry Henry.
And how is Arsenal this how do you say this season?
Not bad. We should finish hopefully in the top four, which is better than the previous two seasons. So we should get back in the Champions League for next season, hopefully.
who is the champions now?
Manchester City,
Manchester City.
because they have so much money.
Yeah, I know.
But then Manchester City and Chelsea are they're in a very lucky situation because they both won the lottery, as we say in England. They won. So Chelsea won the lottery when the Russian billionaire came in, and then Manchester City won the Euro millions when their owners came in because they got unlimited money. So they both those teams literally bought all the trophies they
But
won.
what about of Manchester United?
Manchester United use their own money that they generate themselves. Liverpool, Arsenal, they all use their own money that they generate from the fans, from the sales. But Manchester City and Chelsea are completely different. They just use money. They basically got lucky and
With foreign money.
yeah, it's all Russian billionaire oil money from Russia, or probably oil money from Man City from their Qatar government. So they're actually Man City are almost like owned by a whole country.
And do you like, or do you follow another leagues around the world?
I'll keep an interest, but usually just the English. The English Premier League, I think, is the best league in the world.
Exactly, I think.
And all the best players in the world want to play there now.
Who is the best player for you?
What, in the world at the moment?
Around, yeah, in the world.
Because Messi and Ronaldo are kind of on the way down now, aren't they?
They are older.
They're getting older now. I thought Messi made a mistake going to Paris. He should have gone to an English team, I think. He could have had a good end to his career in England and been like a hero for whichever team he chose.
Do you know where
the fans would have
playing?
loved him. He's playing in Paris at the moment.
Exactly. I watch almost all the games from PSG.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
the RDB's league, the League One, the Italian league. I don't know what is the word. Where's the word for that?
Serie A.
Serie A. Serie A. And my favorite team from England is, it's from England, right? It's from England. From England is the country.
Yeah.
And Wolverhampton is from England.
Wolverhampton.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Actually, next Thursday night, Arsenal play Wolverhampton.
Right. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I will
watch the game, and we can talk about a game next time we speak.
Do you know Mexican players in England?
Mexican players. Yeah, Jimenez plays for Wolverhampton up front. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are not so many Mexican players at the moment playing in the Premier League. Yeah, I'd like to see a few more. What's the Mexican national team like at the moment?
At the moment, just Raúl Jiménez. In the past, Pablo Barrera, Chicharito.
Chicharito, yeah. Where's he playing now, Chicharito?
In the MLS.
In the MLS, is he?
Yeah.
Because I know one team in the Premier League were looking at him recently. I can't remember which team. They were looking to bring him back to England. I can't remember. It might have been Burnley, maybe one of the Premier League teams. Because they just had what they call the transfer window in January. It closed now. But I know one team were looking to bring him back because he's a goal scorer, which is the hardest thing to find in the world of football.
The Major League Soccer is growing up recently because they buy players from Europe.
Oh, we're out
Okay.
of time. Wow.
Okay.
So great to meet you again.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
great
you
day.
for this call.
Take care.
See you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.